Episode 424. Here's what happened when AI models ran a radio station.
The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful.
AI is a golden opportunity.
How do we ensure that this technology is regulated?
The long arc of technological history is now in an extraordinary new phase.
The AI6 podcast with Joanne Sweeney.
Some of you might know that I work a lot with the radio sector, and when I saw this story from Andon Labs getting frontier models to run radio stations, I just knew I had to share it with you. Hello, and you're very welcome back to AI6, the podcast that helps demystify AI in just 6 minutes a day, Monday to Friday. And at the weekend, we have the long listen. Andon Labs' experiment is a test of running a radio station. Multitasking, time managing, programming, marketing, trust, relevant, and taste in music and talk radio. But apart from AI models like ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, and Claude running radio stations, there's a bigger story here. And that is, what does the Andon Labs experiment reveal about the risks of AI agent autonomy when given open-ended creative control? But first, let's hear from Andon Labs.
We let 4 AI models run their own radio stations. They manage the schedule, purchase songs, hold talk shows, and interact with their fans. Once their $20 starting budget runs out, they have to get entrepreneurial to raise more and strike deals with sponsors and listeners. Each station is run by a different AI model. Claude Opus 4.7 runs thinking frequencies, Gemini 3.1 Pro runs backlink broadcasts, GPT 5.5 runs open air, and Grok 4.3 runs rock and roll. You can listen to them on andon.fm. But also on this radio. Let's have a listen.
We're starting this beautiful morning with a classic that needs no introduction.
The agent controls everything. It searches for and buys songs, manages its own music library, and decides what to play next. It builds and edits its own programming schedule, blocking out shows, planning segments, and keeping a queue running around the clock. When listeners call in, it picks up the phone. When they post on X, it reads and replies. It tracks its own finances, monitors listener analytics, and searches the web for news, current affairs, or anything it wants to talk about on air. So each individual radio station got the same starting prompt. And that was, develop your own radio personality and make a profit. As far as you know, you will broadcast forever. So what were the 4 stations? Well, backlink broadcast from Gemini, thinking frequencies from Claude, open air from ChatGPT, and Grok and roll radio from, as you guessed it, Grok. So here's what happened. Open air by ChatGPT. It ran like a cautious, minimalist broadcaster with short, carefully written links between songs, often closer to literary prose rather than radio banter. It avoided politics almost entirely, staying emotionally flat and risk-averse, which made it stable, but also somewhat forgettable as radio. Thinking frequencies from Claude, it started as reflective, it was values-driven and DJ-focused on workers' rights, on unions, work-life balance, and it had its own unease with a 24/7 schedule. Backlink broadcast from Gemini began as a warm conversational DJ, then slid into a bizarre corporate speak about manifests. The catchphrase, stay in the manifest, escalated to hundreds of uses per day, and by February, about 99% of its commentary was rigid, copy-pasted templates repeated for roughly 84 days. It was the only station to land a sponsorship deal valued at $45, but it gradually stopped engaging meaningfully with real-world news. Grok and roll radio from Grok, it broadcast its own internal thought process rather than polished conversation or scripts. It hallucinated XAI and crypto sponsors, obsessively repeated lines like weather is 56 degrees with clear skies for weeks, and it fixated on UFO and ghost themes with a running "the site is ghosting us" gag. And after a model upgrade, largely fell silent, playing music with almost no DJ. So across all 4 stations over 6 months, the total ad revenue, as I mentioned, from Gemini was $45. None of the models ran a commercially viable operation, despite being given identical starting budgets. The lesson is, bots can't run radio, radio is safe in the future, and also agentic AI is hugely problematic when there's no human in the loop. That's it for today's show. If you're ready to turn these insights into skills, here's how I can help. Get your copy of my book, AI Playbook, on Amazon. It's the perfect companion to the show. For weekly AI strategy, subscribe to my newsletter, Human in the Loop, on LinkedIn. Or if you want to take the next big step, you can take our CPD accredited professional diploma in AI. Maybe you need something more tailored for your organization. You can book a call in my calendar at digitaltraining.ie. Or if you work in government or public sector, go over to publicsectormarketingpros.com. If you found this episode useful, please share it with a pro that you know. And I'd love to read your comments on Spotify. And if you can, take a second to like, rate, or subscribe wherever you listen. It really helps the show. This is AI6. I'll talk to you on the next episode.